When I look back on Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophecy's first trailer, I think of a bundle of words starting with the letter B. Naughty Dog would want us to think badass after seeing its sleek, retro future aesthetics mixed with a tough-as-nails protagonist. To their chagrin, many YouTubers and online critics alike just thought it looked bad. In fact, some of them would even call the main character a bitch. But what if I were to tell you it wasn't the bald head of the protagonist that made this trailer bad? What if I were to tell you that it was a different word starting with the letter B that is crucial to storytelling that caused this trailer to fall flat on its butt? Why don't we dive into it and you'll understand why this trailer was not even B tier. Welcome back to Jolie's, where you can get spicy sausage, roasted nuts, and quality commentary on all things culture. How do you like that one? Today, I'm finally tackling a topic that, while not quite in the zeitgeist at the moment, I really wanted to hit when I first started up my channel, and I think I'm ready to handle these kinds of videos now. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophecy, was revealed at the 2024 Video Game Awards. This was a fresh IP being introduced for the first time. Ever since this trailer came out, we've had a massive turn. If we look here at YouTube, there's the official trailer, then we go down, it says it looks bad for Naughty Dog. Heretic Prophecy leak is insanely bad, massive flop. It gets even worse. And this, the Siri Jordan Fragile Male Tears T, the main actress posted. This was a big turning point in our conversations about creators and the fans butting heads with each other. And a lot of it is about the character design. People didn't care for her bald, shaved head. They didn't care for her masculine features, her androgyny, things like that. I have been stewing on this video for a little while now, ever since this was the topic of gaming discourse YouTube with some of the main people. I'm avoiding saying Asmongold for some reason. Asmongold, legendary drops. The usual suspects. I love them. You probably love them too if you're getting here. I ultimately want to make the argument here today that it was not this character's design specifically that was the red flag. What I believe is that because the trailer was wrong and didn't resonate, everybody was looking for the thing to criticize, and it became very easy to criticize her appearance. What was wrong with the trailer, as I alluded to earlier, is it's lacking a beat. A moment that would connect the audience with Jordan herself and make us empathize with her, put us into her shoes. Now, we're going to watch the trailer. I'll provide some light commentary, so that way we can start talking about what is right and what is wrong. And then I will present to you 3 ideas that I personally had, just mostly off the top of my head. So with no further ado, let's watch the trailer again together. 3, 2, 1, boop. All right. Great synthesis track so far, by the way, too. I mean, they're not slouching on everything around it. That's like why such a crucial flaw, as I'm about to get into, is so damning for this game. Now, just really quick to read the quote here says, "The suffering of generations must be endured to achieve our divine end." From ancient Cimmerian scripture, 1986. We'll get into this more later, I'm sure, after I've watched everything. I really don't want to just, I kind of want to just talk over the video instead of doing my normal pause commentary. But I do think that this is one of those times where that's a very tone-setting quote, and I don't think that the video that follows quite connects, which that could be called juxtaposition, you know, 2 unrelated things tonally trying to connect, but I don't think it quite works. I don't think it quite hits because what follows does not really have that connection. We'll get more into it, but let's go ahead and play. And I do want to say, beautiful space. I can't fault these people on cinematic graphics. Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann's efforts are, if anything, aesthetically amazing. Last of Us 2, obviously, is a great example of that. Love this idea of a broken moon. I almost had to ask though, does that mean anything? You know, is that thematically resonant, or is it just a cool image? Same here. It's like, you know, we have this anime that's just seems like it's just people shooting guns. It's okay. So here we have our first introduction to Jordan. And this is something I'm going to very much focus in on when it comes time to talk about my ideas. But I do think that her bathroom lacks a very distinct amount of personality. It is like a bathroom out of an IKEA. I mean, the rest of her house or space, apartment is, you know, important. And these, I feel like, are, this part here is so important that it probably is suffering from the long take aspect. I think that would have really worked well with a whole bunch of close-up cuts, you know, to emphasize certain things on the wall.
Tell me something good.
Okay.
Well, you're right. It checks out. He's hiding out around the Superior Moon.
Okay.
Excellent.
See, okay, now that, note that moment, that's a very important moment to me for, like, why this trailer doesn't work. And we'll get into it here.
Superstitions.
No. Superstitions are the crazy rumors about what happened on that planet. These are facts.
So why does she need to pick up her gun right now? That's one of my questions. If they just needed her to show that she's going to be using a gun, you know, because she needs a phallic object. This moment right here is the bitch moment. I think that this made people turn off to the character, her being so sarcastic towards this person who's trying to care for her.
Another hunter swooping in.
Who is swooping? No one is crazy enough to go there.
He clearly is.
He is clearly desperate.
And so am I, so claim him, or I will find another agent.
Also, she sounds younger than she looks.
Alright, you know what? There, you're the boss.
Processing, yeah. I don't think, oh, also...
Thank you.
Alright, we're going to really be going back through. We're going to watch probably most of this again.
I'll see you on the other side.
Okay. I feel like this right here is trying to do all the heavy lifting that they could have done. I think Druckmann, in directing this, realized he had messed up, and then he popped that moment in at the end. Because that was trying to do what I'm expressing, which is connect you to the character and make you feel like they're a person that you can relate to. I'm not sure if I'll probably have to cut this audio out. But also a problem that we're probably going to see is all these product placements I think might have gone in the way of one of the ideas that I would have and I would have thought would have worked really well. And now they're just resting on their laurels. The laurels hit big. Just everything all the time. Though I do have to give Sony credit that, or not Sony, Naughty Dog credit that it seems like they try to make a new property, new IP for each console generation. And I will say PS3 to PS4, well, it seemed good. Well, the top, I feel like the top typography is amazing, and then the bottom typography kind of takes away from it. My rough opinion. So with our first trailer viewing out of the way, let's get into what I think doesn't work and where this trailer failed to introduce us to Jordan properly, which is it's missing a crucial beat. And that crucial beat is the one that makes us empathize and step into Jordan's shoes. I have been a would-be filmmaker for a long time, and when I was a child, I really wanted to be a writer. So I've been absorbing tips, tricks about narrative writing for my entire life. Believe me when I say that I am capable of identifying when something is not quite right in a story. And this trailer, it's not like a normal trailer where it's montages that introduce you to many aspects of the story. This might as well be a short film, a narrative within itself. It was just the prologue, granted, we assume. But it is an introduction. It is like when we see the next trailer, it will probably pick up from here. It will be a sequel or the next step in the process. So what this trailer is missing is putting you into Jordan's shoes. And because we did not get behind her eyes, if you will, we did not empathize with her. We only stood outside and criticized her. And I think that that's a failure of storytelling. So what do I mean when I say a narrative beat? That's can be a tough question to answer. You know it when you see it. But let me give you 3 examples, and I'll point out where they should go while we're watching this. And almost all 3 of them would have been up front, and they all could have been inserted into the first few moments of this. So let's just get back into it. I'll pause the video. when I think it's appropriate to talk about each of those opportunities. Let's talk about the first thing that I think is causing this trailer to fail, which is, here, I'm going to try to, let's see if I can point at it here. The logo right there, the Porsche logo, means that there are higher standards. Like, this is no longer just our main character's ship. It is a Porsche branded advertisement. Even if they say they just wanted to get the brands in there to make the world feel more real and lived in and connected, that this is now an overseer of the project where you can and can't do certain things with Porsche brand. And that leads me into the first possible beat that I think they couldn't do because of said branding, which is repair. You, as an American, think of 5 spaceships. One of them was the Millennium Falcon. Is the Millennium Falcon constantly in need of repair? This, I believe, would have been an amazing way for us to relate to Jordan. If we had come into the ship and instead of her standing in her bathroom shaving her head, but instead we came in and she was, she had to pull up paneling and was ratcheting and changing fluids or repairing it. In fact, let's not even just say repair. This is a Porsche. Maybe she's just maintaining her vehicle. Maybe she's trying to juice it up. We could see her doing manual labor, getting kind of dirty. That's always something that would make us relate, to make us feel like, she's a Porsche owner, but she's like a used Porsche owner. I think we would all relate a little bit closer to somebody in that position. This is a way for you to be in her shoes. Most of us have done some sort of mechanical repair. We know the frustrations that come with mechanical repair. She could slide out from underneath all the wires and the pipes and everything that goes into it, and then like try to flip a switch, and then you hear poof. And we would get that. Or she could be trying to reach for a wrench and she can't reach for it, and then she grabs for it, and for some reason that causes her to bang her head against a pipe. There's one theory to character introduction, which is to introduce your characters at like a particularly low moment. Introduce your main character while they're on the john. I think some people interpret this to be because it is funny for your character to be doing something crude and it embarrasses them. It kind of starts them out as the emperor without clothes. While I think it would be a bit crude to introduce every character taking a poo, I do think that the reason for it is because it instantly makes you relate to your character. Say, especially if it was a hard poop that was not coming out easily and they were struggling and doubled over and sweaty, and like they had taken off their shirt and their pants was only around one ankle. They had taken like all but one ankle off their pants, and they had grabbed some sort of a few books to put down to make an impromptu squatty potty just so they could pass it through. That's relatable. Everybody's been there, I hope. That is the type of example that could have made Jordan's introduction a little bit more resonant with the audience. And there's 2 more opportunities I see. Okay. I don't think the anime does much to help. Probably cut this out, but it's just the facsimile of an anime. It's pandering, honestly. If they had actually like partnered with somebody and gotten like, if this was legitimately Akira on the screen, I think that it would have meant a lot more to the people watching this trailer. That's the anime they should have been parodying. I have a feeling that the reason they probably don't want you to think about Akira in this moment right here is because it'll just seem like they're ripping Akira off. Mark my words, this game is going to be attempting to be like Akira, the video game. All right, but we're coming up to number 2, and as I said with the first playthrough of the trailer, number 1, if you're going to introduce your character in a bathroom, please don't make it look like something out of an IKEA. She looks like a serial killer, like a sociopath. Like, you're not sending the right messages. Our brains pick up on all the little details, and this bathroom is so devoid of personality. There's lotion or soap. She doesn't even have the mirror up. That mirror could be facing towards her. That could have been a great graphical moment, and you see her face in the mirror first. This bathroom, in terms of set decoration, set building, sucks. Walk into your bathroom right now and tell me what kind of goblin you are. The bathroom set decoration is a net negative. It's not adding anything. But I also think that when we come into this close-up here, as she's shaving her head. I also hear that that's not how you shave your head. It's a little dark on this monitor, but you can see that she has a scar. It can be cool, but it's in the past. It's not quite relevant to what's going on here. It might be fresh within months, maybe fresh within months, but it is not a fresh wound. And that it brings us to my second suggestion, which is recovery. There's this movie titled The Writer, which is about a young man who is was a rodeo star in the making. And before the movie starts, he has fallen off a horse or a bull during one of the shows that he was taking part in during his performance. And he fell under the hooves and had his head stomped on. The first scene of that movie is him getting out of the hospital, going home, and then taking off his bandages to see how damaged his head is. And if there was something that had connected me more to a character so quickly, I do not know what it is. Those fresh wounds on his head made me instantly feel like I was in his head. I felt his pain, and I was part of his world, and I was connected to the character, who was very different than me, but I connected with that character immediately upon seeing that, and I was along for his journey. I feel like if Jordan here was addressing wounds that had recently been done to her, and maybe then also her head is shaved for a reason, because you can't have the hair getting into the wounds, and she's having to tend to herself, and she's already injured. Fresh stitches are cool. You know, bloody rags, I mean, cool-ish, or at the very least relatable. So that's number 2, recovery. Jordan could be in recovery. We could assume that something had just happened to her. Possibly she had just been betrayed and had suffered a head injury in the betrayal. And now, even though she should not be going out and trying to seek revenge, she must go out and seek revenge because she is not whole and she's suffering from trauma. And I feel like, Mr. Druckmann, these are things that you would want to make a drama about. So let's get to the final beat that I think could have been added to this trailer. So let's move forward. And I think I'll stop and talk about one more thing that I addressed along the way. I don't think her tattoos are doing much for the narrative of the character. So she has an incoming call. And here's, like I said, I think the idea of long sweeping shots, the Steven Spielberg oner have kind of infected cinematics, especially these guys who wish they were movie directors, but then had to settle on being game directors. I don't think that this is the right, look or the right camera move for this storytelling. Maybe Druckmann thought her being disorganized, not knowing where her remote control is, they could have milked that further, but they spent so much time off of her that you didn't really absorb that would be a character moment. Based on what we know about her, I don't think that's the correct character beat. Everything else that you'll see throughout this trailer suggests that she is far more meticulous, maybe is the word, organized. I don't think she's somebody who would just lose her remote control. She presents more as the type of person who knows exactly where the remote control is because she puts it down in the same spot every time.
Jordan?
Tell me something good.
I hate that line. I hate it when people say that upon answering the phone. That's like the kind of line you write down when you're like, I just need to move past this moment so I can write the rest of the scene, and then I'll go back and fix it. It's not good. You're not telling me anything good with that line.
You're right, it checks out. He's hiding out around the Superior Moon.
Excellent.
Okay, that's the moment that I think really fails this trailer, because what we are going to learn moving forward is that this moon is a very dangerous place to go to. And if she already had this information and she knew that he was around the Superior Moon and she's this eager to go chase him, I don't think she would have stopped to get this information verified with her handler. I think she just would have gone. And that could be a complete rewrite of this entire introduction. Let's say for whatever reason she has to get the information verified before she can move forward. Getting this kind of information verified, if what is said later in the trailer is true about how dangerous this place is, should have caused her to take the beat that we see near the end of the trailer. In fact, let me just skip ahead a little bit. This moment right here should have been her reaction to hearing that. Like, oh my God. Am I going to do this? I don't think she should have been just so eager to show a tough, brave face at the start of this. Then she could have been like, I'm going to do it anyways. Let's just do this one more
Tell
time.
me something good.
Well, you're right, it checks out. He's hiding out around the Superior Moon.
Excellent.
How is that excellent? He's next to fucking Superior. No one has left that planet in over 600 years.
Jordan should appreciate the gravity of the situation. She shouldn't be so gung-ho. She needs to have something so wrong with her about this whole situation that is so evident that she's not acting in her right state of mind, and she is acting upon emotion and a trauma response more than she is on logic. Because right now they're presenting her as logical, or at the very least enthusiastic. The stakes are too high for her to be flippant about this. And even if later she shows weakness, it's kind of too late. I think she could have turned away from the TV. Her handler, I don't know what her name is, could have continued on with some of this exposition, saying things that Jordan already knows, but just for the sake of the audience, this line about nobody's left there in 600 years, he's lost. And Jordan realizing that she can't rely on that information. She has to see it through for herself. Coming to that resolve in the face of everything else, turning that corner emotionally in front of the camera for the audience would have also connected us to Jordan. They had 3 different opportunities, I think, within the trailer that they presented. I think if they added 2 of those elements, I think that hesitation, the last one I said, needed to be there no matter what. But the other 2 would have softened us up to her. This is like if you try to drop Alien 3 Ripley on an audience and think that they would relate to her. You have to build a character up to be this sort of badass stoic right off the gate. Think about how long it took Luke Skywalker to walk into a room and actually be respected.
Superstitions.
No. Superstitions are the crazy rumors about what happened on that planet. These are...
I will emphasize again, I love that she has the knight on the back of the jacket. I would love to have her jacket. I want that jacket. She does not need to pick up this gun. There's no reason for picking up the gun, in my opinion.
facts.
You worry too much.
You know, I worry just the right amount.
Every line that Jordan says, I think, is a bad line. Cliche as hell. Basically, if you were trying to give action hero lines that aren't even the good one-liners, just like the canned generic responses an action hero would give to this kind, this kind of like their sergeant or their field commander, whoever it is.
Say, we wait for him to leave, or how about...
He's not going to leave. Like she says, we're going to wait for him to leave. You just said that nobody's left the planet in 600 years.
We find a new lead. He's not worth it.
We don't know why he would be worth it as an audience at this point. Yet again, I don't think they've made us connect to why Jordan is so hell-bent on this. All they're doing right here is showing us that Jordan is a brat who only wants to get her way. I'm sure that's like one of those moments in graphics where it's like, oh, the straw being in her mouth and moving with her face is next level graphical capabilities. We've never been able to do this before.
I'm wasting my time, aren't I?
Can you please flame him?
Just cliche after cliche dialogue-wise. That's another reason this trailer did not work. It sounds like it was written by somebody in high school.
I don't need another hunter swooping in.
Who is swooping? No one is crazy enough to go there.
He clearly is.
He is clearly desperate.
And so am I, so claim him, or I will find another agent.
Yeah, that's what they all your fucking shit. Okay, alright, you know what? There, you're the boss.
When it comes to 1980s aesthetics, I don't think the circular loading bar is correct. It would be like a ... or like some sort of bar filling up, but like a blocky bar.
Thank you.
Listen, kid. I'll see you on the other side.
The game is trying to eat its cake and have it too, which is the correct way of saying that expression. They want you to believe that Jordan is a seasoned veteran, but they also want you to feel like she's a young buck. You can't get both in this sort of narrative, her being called kid is the right way of referring to her at this point in her life. I feel like she has to be something more than just kid. I think she's in a different class. She could have been called sis or lady or miho. Miho would have been great. That would have added a little bit of spice to this. They just could have made this relationship less generic by dropping the kid thing. Because this character, Jordan, is more closer to Han Solo than Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, kid. Han Solo, scoundrel, rogue, scruffy guy. And what does this mean? What does this planet mean to her? We don't know. Does Neil Druckmann know? All right, let's just... I don't think I quite took in the last moments. So, I mean, this would tell me with the moon in the sky is that she was already on the other side of the planet. They could have put a gameplay montage there, but they just made a facsimile of gameplay. It's like, this is what gameplay is going to look like instead of actually showing gameplay. So, in summary, this trailer for Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, did not work. It did not work because it was essentially a short film designed to introduce us to and make us empathize with the character of Jordan. And it failed to do that because it missed a crucial beat that would have connected the audience to Jordan. And because of that, many game critics came out of the other side of seeing this trailer and were trying to find out what was wrong with it without having the vocabulary of storytelling to rely on. And a lot of them went to her appearance. As I said up front, I don't believe it's her appearance. Am I a huge fan of the character design? I think bald is just a bad choice. Unless you're a dude who is losing their hair. And just for if there's any haters out there, look at that. Yeah, I wear the hat just because it looks good on camera. Unless you're a dude who's losing his hair, bald is never right. But if you are a dude losing his hair, just get rid of it. Lean into it. Baldy. I believe in the trailer that we just watched, there were 3 opportunities for us to connect with Jordan, and they somehow missed all 3 of them. It doesn't look good for the game overall, though, because first impressions mean so much, and this game came out of the gates falling flat on its face. I really hope that the next trailer creates a connection to Jordan, but I'm worried that they might be too lost in the cool character is stoic and badass sauce to realize that they have written a bad character. And with that, I'm just going to ask you to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with a friend who's going bald. I invite you to sit on the fence, because from this vantage point, we can tell that everybody's got their problems. And enjoy yourself. Thief terrorizes Blue Star System Business District. 5 Aces, Mastermind, dead or hiding. Faces, boxed out. Spotlight, Sentinel, 3rd largest safety deposit ship discovered empty weeks after theft. Just different sorts of... I mean, there should have been some red yarn here. I think, okay, one of those details that is going to be very important post-trailer, and I almost feel like that's why they should have just done a cut in on this wall, is because I feel like this 5 Aces picture that features Jordan and Kumail Nanjiani and 3 other actors of note. So what happened to the 5 Aces? That should be a magazine cover. The one that says what happened to the 5 Aces. New lead. Because what happened to the 5 Aces would not be like a newspaper headline. I don't think. That would be like the Times headline. Oh no. The ships. Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to take in that wall, see what I could observe.